You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Now it's time for Facts First.
All right, Slick Mick's given us our facts for the day. There are two lots of facts, essentially. The first one I'm going to do here, Chris, and it's about Sony and Nintendo's failed collaboration. Now, some people might know about it, some people may not. But in the early 90s, Sony and Nintendo were on the verge of what could have been a revolutionary partnership. So the two companies collaborated to create a disc-based add-on for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, which we're going to call the SNES pretty much for the rest of the show, right? The partnership aimed to combine Nintendo's dominance in the gaming market with Sony's expertise in electronics and disc technology. Now, the project was called the PlayStation.
The PlayStation.
Yeah, note the pause. Note the pause. Not the PlayStation, the PlayStation. Two different words, okay? So don't confuse them. So what was supposed to happen was they were supposed to bring CD-ROM technology to the Super Nintendo, allowing for more storage and advanced game designs. However, the promising potential and collaboration fell apart due to contractual and business disagreements. What they are? That's a secret. Don't know. In 1991, at the Consumer Electronics Show, both companies unveiled a prototype of the PlayStation. However, a few months later, Nintendo unexpectedly dropped Sony in favour of a deal with Philips.
Oh, Philips, huge.
Rookie error.
Rookie
error. We all know what happened. Abandoning that idea was maybe not the best plan for Nintendo in some respects, because Sony went on to create the PlayStation, which we all know and love. It was great. However, Super Nintendo, when it died off, they did bring out the Nintendo 64. So it's a bit of a what could have been in gaming history. Yeah.
Missed opportunity, a big missed opportunity,
definitely.
I think.
Well, in a way, but they both landed on their feet, Nintendo and Sony.
They did all right in the end, didn't they?
Yeah.
The 64, the PlayStation.
Yeah, that's
pretty good.
All right, Chris, our second fact is more like a series of facts. We've got 6 Game Boy facts for you. Take it away, mate. What do we got?
Yeah, so this one from Slick Mick. So fact number 1. So in 1993, Soviet cosmonaut took a Game Boy, if you believe it, up to space. Apparently it orbited the Earth more than 3,000 times and actually sold at auction for $1,220. What do you reckon? Probably the only console to orbit the Earth,
I'd say so. It'd be the only one to ever go into space, surely. Well, maybe now there's been some other handhelds, but pretty impressive.
Well, this was 1993, so yeah, maybe since then. Second fact for the day on the Game Boy is there's actually a surviving Game Boy from the Gulf War barracks bombing. That apparently it's still in working condition. I think you've seen footage of this.
I have. It is messed up, but it does turn on and the screen does work. There you go.
Unbelievable. Fact number 3, the game Tetris. So this was a very popular game on both PC and the Game Boy, but the Game Boy, according to Mick here, is saying that it sold more than 35 million copies on Game Boy.
I believe that, and the reason being is because the Game Boys initially were packaged with Tetris.
Yeah.
So, bit of a cheat, but there you go. Fact number 4 here, Chris, is that the first Game Boy could run up to 30 hours on 4 AA batteries. That's no doubt because the screen only had 4 shades of grey and has no backlight. Fair enough. Fact number 5, the Game Boy and Game Boy Color sold more than the Atari Lynx and Sega Genesis, Mega Drive in Australia, combined with, together, those two consoles, 118.6 million units. So 118 million Game Boys got sold before the year 2000 when it was sadly discontinued. Last fact for the Game Boy facts, number 6, the Game Boy had a heap of accessories. It did. It had a camera, it had a printer, you could hook up link cables, but I think the best accessory was the Booster Boy, the ultimate accessory for the Game Boy. We have one here in the Millennial Man Cave, and Chris is holding it up for anyone watching on YouTube. That thing is obnoxiously large. Because, you know, the first thing you want to do when you get a portable handheld game is make it almost impossible to be portable or handheld. It's enormous.
It's like a brick, carrying a brick around.
It's like a spaceship. Yeah. Speaking of Game Boys going into space, it's like a spaceship. But anyway, all right, I think it's time for our top 5s.